was like, nope, we're just not playing this map, banning it all the time.
So ZP, Fear is on Hanzo and not Widow, and he's been playing a ton of Hanzo in pubs. I've run into him a lot, and I always remember all the Hanzos I die from. What do you think about this?
I think it has potential. I think Hanzo can definitely be good. I think he gets overshadowed by Widowmaker to some extent and isn't as consistent, but it definitely could work out in the defense here. I'm curious to see how it goes out. Looking at the full defense for the brother side, it's going to be Tanaka on the Mercy, Eye Patch on Reaper, Fox on McCree, Omega Cow on Reinhardt, Fear. Well, Hanzo lovers, sad times here as Matt was able to get in and take out Fear immediately, and now Nubris with the Meanwhile, looking at the offense, it's going to be ID on the offensive Pharah, and definitely excited to see more Pharah play here. And this is one thing where Hanzo can have a little bit of trouble. Hanzo isn't as consistent at taking out Pharahs as a Widowmaker, though he's definitely a threat.
I'm actually quite surprised by the entire defense. We don't have Soldier, we don't have Widow. It feels like, and we don't have Junkrat. It seems like weird.
Well, Hanzo lovers, sad times here as Matt was able to get in and take out Fear immediately, and now Nubris with a huge advantage as they move forward. It's a 6v5. Matt takes out Mega Cow, 6v4, and this could very quickly snowball into a huge advantage for Nubris as Matt doing absolute crazy work here for the side of the Nubris team. ID, of course, is laying in rockets over the top, but Matt finishing out those kills, and that is a very quick capture of point A.
I mean, Fear goes down, then they all get stuck in main, and Stoop holds them in a choke point, and then he kills two, and then it's a team wipe. Now they have control of streets. They still don't have Widow. Fear goes down again. That's gonna, I mean, they were able to take control of high ground, which is super important, but they don't have a Widow to shut anyone down.
No, the Widow not being played on phase 2 is a huge, huge detriment, but there it is. Fear coming on the Widow. Rip Hanzo. Hanzo experiment not working out super, super well for Brother here. They're going to instead switch to Widowmaker, and this is pretty standard here in Hollywood. Teams really, really like running Widow both on attack and on defense. We'll see how this works out here as Fear now getting the shots in. Doesn't have a whole lot to counter him on the offensive side right now. Will take out Stoop, and the defense coming out from Brother going to stabilize a bit here.
You must like me.
However, I do think it's pretty likely that Buds is going to switch to Widow on his own in a moment. Although he has Zarya ult, so he might hold off at least until that ultimate is used.
Yeah, I expect ID to combo the ult with Buds, and then they're both going to switch off those characters. I think Buds will probably go into Widow, and ID will go into anything else. Reaper or Winston, surprising. But they're probably going to do, they want this combo.
Alright, so the Deadeye come out from that here, doesn't get a whole lot done. Graviton coming out, and there it is! ID with the follow-up with the barrage, gets the double kill. A sneaky Graviton that pinned people against the wall, working out pretty well, even if the defense is resurrected up immediately. It does give momentum here to the attacking side. Buds went down after, so we'll see if he comes out on a Widow. Be surprised if he stays here on Zarya, but still a good Graviton and ID with a lot of very necessary cleanup.
Yeah, ID making Pharah work here in this middle portion. You know, Pharah to me, as a Pharah main, I love Pharah. We've seen her used on offense a ton lately on Kings Row, Hollywood, and Dorado. But it's very difficult to keep Pharah through the second and third phases because of how prominent hit scan is and how wide open these angles are. But someone like Tailsman ID have been able to somehow get on top of defensive Widows when
full team wipe for Nubris. No, I agree. But the offensive of Nubris right now really getting into it. There will be a defensive sound barrier coming out from Brother. Brother trying to do anything they can do to stabilize this, but Mega Cow overplayed his hand, charged in, got punished for it. And now, even though Stoop has to back up a bit here, Nubris still with a lot of momentum. Buds is in the back as Widowmaker. No answer for him just yet. Will be looking to take out the 76. Has to run away. But the offensive sound barrier is out. The offense now turning it right back around as Matt, Stoop, and Buds getting in there. Stoop, in fact, with the double kill. ID cleaning up his Pharah in the back. This is going to be a full team wipe for Nubris. And they are on pat. Nubris needs to secure this next point. And look at this. ID moon to back boost and speed boost. Will drop the barrage, looking for Mercy. Takes out Mercy immediately.
First point hold on defense. I mean, if you let offense win the very first team fight and take point A, not only are you really, is the defensive team really struggling on spawns, but the ult advantage is just too hard.
Oh, definitely. And looking here, ID does have the barrage up. He is saving it for a good moment. This could be all Nubris needs to secure this next point. And look at this, ID moon to back boost and speed boost. Will drop the barrage, looking for Mercy. Takes out Mercy immediately, ends up dying. But with how important Mercy is in the meta, that is absolutely worthwhile as ID gets rezzed up immediately. And there will be no res for the defense now.
Nope, everyone dead except for Lucio. Lucio going to be focused down. He goes down, and I think that's going to be Map.
Yeah, the Diva is coming out here. You can't stack Divas or Tracers with the delay. Omega Cow not able to get to the point in time. And again, Nubris going to be saying a very quick time here in Hollywood.
Yeah, super quick time. And really that all to be was the lack of a hold on first checkpoint. I mean, it's when you no Soldier, no Junkrat, and Hanzo, doesn't seem like that was ever going to work. What do you think it was?
I mean, I think it's one of those things where Hanzo is very feast or famine. I think it's a hero that can be very deceptive, where you have some scrims or matches where you run a Hanzo and he just single-handedly destroys the other team because things are working out well. The problem with Hanzo is that when he's not working out well, you're not getting any incremental contributions. Like usually Widow, even if she's not getting all the headshots in the world, she's going to be getting good body shots and she's still going to have an effect on the game. Hanzo, a lot of the times it feels like he's either, it's feast or famine with him. And that was definitely famine for Fear, and I do think the Hanzo pick hurt them in the beginning.
And they decided to set up defense all on top of point A. Usually you see Mercy and Soldier there, perched up to be a combo, and then you have Reaper or Junkrat on stairs or an alley, but instead they all decided to be at once, and then they got stuck under that, and they couldn't even do anything. So it didn't even seem like the setup that they had, they were using it for what comp they created.
Yeah, it definitely had some issues. I'm a little bit surprised too, given the fact that Brother was able to beat SG1 earlier in the day, so I was expecting a little bit of a stronger outpouring from them here, but did not quite happen in that way. But 434 is going to be the time to beat. That is a very quick time in Hollywood. We have seen faster, but for Brother to come in and win this, they are going to have to just dominate most of these fights, and certainly they need to take point A, I think, on their first or at most second attack.
But this is actually pretty interesting coming out of a defense from Nubris. A tankless triple support, triple DPS comp. No Reinhardt, no Winston, no Zaryas. What do you think? I mean, I know why they want the Symmetra. Okay, they will. I thought Stoop might have was going to go Lucio, but this is...
No, it's one of those things where Lucio, especially early on, is just used to speed boost people out, and just where usually it's the Mercy player that does that, but somehow Stoop got stuck on Lucio duty. But looking at the defense coming out from the side of Nubris, it is going to be Matt on the McCree, Minstrel on Symmetra, Bugs on Widowmaker, Stoop on Reinhardt, Kusta on the Mercy, and ID going to be the final part here on the defensive Junkrat. And ID has been having himself a game as Junkrat, or just a day in general.
I mean, ID, of course, the projectile player coming from Quake, Farron, and Junkrat are two characters you're going to see him on quite a lot.
You know, look at the offense. We have Fear going Hanzo again, looking for some Hanzo value. In fact, you think back to some early days when we watched C9, we saw Kai have really good effect on offensive Hanzo right here on this map. We'll see if Fear can channel some of that here and now, but it can be pretty difficult.
I mean, they're running the Zarya too, so they're eventually wanting to get the combo, but they don't have time to maybe like lose a team fight or two and to gain ult charge for iPads. They have to win the first or second team fight on offense to have any chance.
Well, there you have it. Fear does get one of the first picks in the game on the Minstrel, goes down immediately. It will slow down the teleporter from coming up with nothing else, and there's the resurrection. Fear going to be coming back up. Mercy, of course, building res very, very quickly. Kusta holding on to his res for now, as Stoop drops the Earthshare. 3 people knocked down. Omega Cow going to get knocked against the wall. And Nubris hanging in here, bending but not breaking. Fear's still alive and in the midst of it. Will have a Dragon Strike up soon, but eats Stoop's axe to the face instead, as ID now with a little bit of cleanup in the back. And I agree, by the way, when it comes to the combo here, Zarya Hanzo is actually one of the better wombos in the game, but in a situation where they have to win quickly here, you can't really wait for Zarya ult to build. I mean, you could be waiting 3 team fights, and by that time, the game could already be over.
No, and they killed Minstrel early on, which is great, but now he's able to get teleported back up. Kusta's already got res, because Mercy has res every team fight anyway, and this is really the final push for them to make something happen.
Yeah, so we're going to have to see something come out of Dragon Strike here, although it's a difficult ult to get kills on if it's not properly set up. Sometimes it can still work. I do think they're going to have to blow that here, and they just have to somehow take the point here on this push. But here we go. The push is in progress. ID in the back still has Riptire on the way, and here comes the Dragon. The Dragon will be sated. Everyone just sidestepping that Dragon. Stoop, though, going to go down, and we'll see if this is the pick they need. Kusa still holding on to the res as ID takes out Fox. Both teams have res on deck, but Tanaka actually very, very close to dying. He's going to get taken out before he can res, and that alone might be GG outright here.
Yeah, I didn't really like the comps coming out on offense here. I mean, you know you have to push. You know you have to win one of the first 2 team fights in order to have any chance of completing the map and beating the time. What's the point of going Zarya if you know that that's kind of like a more mid-game, late-game type of play? And now Fear's going Genji. I think it's a little bit too late.
Yeah, Fear going Genji, I mean, again, you can use Dragon Blade Zarya ult. It's still a pretty good combo. Here comes the offense. They do use the sound barrier. They're moving in, but they're being hesitant on moving in. The sound barrier going to just fade. Effectively not getting a whole lot of use out of that Lucio sound barrier. Now, you look at Nubris. Nubris can flank them from both sides. This is a very, very ugly look here for the offense of Brother. In fact, Matt going to clean things up here as McCree getting the double kill. And that might be it.
Yeah, that's effectively it. I mean, very solid defense. Kind of coming out from Nubris, kind of their standard setup. Nothing too special. Buzz getting kills, ID getting kills, Comac getting kills. Stoop playing great, you know, keeping the front line locked down. And I think just a poor competition coming on offense, especially considering the time necessary.
Well, here comes the offense. For one last attempt here, they do have Earth Shatter up. They have Graviton Surge up. We'll see if it's enough as they move forward. They're going to need to make really good use out of these ultimates. Speed Boost is out. Zarya looking for the opportunity. Graviton will come out. Only gets Stoop in that Graviton, though. And meanwhile, look at Matt over the top with the Deadeye. Helps get 2 kills. Looking for more. Misses the flashbang on Fox, though. McCree duel in progress, and Fear coming in from the back with the Dragon Blade. Picks up the double kill. And if this works out, it makes you wonder why Fear just wasn't on the Genji to begin with.
I know. I mean, that's really what it does make me think about. Why didn't they just run this comp to opening the game? It would have still taken Fear a little bit while to gain ult and to get that sword. Which they
Fear already almost has a second ult up. He's doing a ton of work right now on Genji. Eventually goes down the buds. The defense now starting to swarm back onto the point. They might be able to get back on here in time. It's very, very close. Matt running back into the fray, but the defense clearly rattled a bit here from this comp switch up from the side of Brother. And in fact, Brother just looks like a totally different team at this comp.
But they actually defend. Nubris gets in at the last moment. Sick defense coming in. I actually criticize teams quite often on allowing either to get back capped or to they try to go back to point A too late. And they did a very good job of going there. And GG's are called.
I'll be honest, for a lot of teams when they run Genji, a lot of things seem to go well. It makes me wonder why teams don't pull him out earlier on in these fights. It's just a little bit weird because there's just been so many instances lately where a team will switch Genji and suddenly do way, way better, and yet he's not always first on most teams' team comp agendas. A little bit weird.
Maybe that is a lack of confidence in running the Genji because we've seen, you know, solo Genjis do work. I mean, Double Winston had shut down Genji for a long time, but now without Double Winston to come into play, and you can have double 3 stuns to, you know, get Genji every now and then. I think Genji is a perfect choice here, so I think we should see coming out.
You're right. I mean, it might be somewhat of a hangover effect from people dealing with double hero comps where you're right, you go against Double Winston, Double McCree. That's not a very good situation to run a Genji in, but now in this meta that we're running into with 1 hero limit, I think Genji has a lot of potential and in fact might be getting underplayed because, you know, as you saw right there, once Fear went from Hanzo to Genji, the offensive Brother improved immeasurably. It got way better.
Yeah, they needed that to begin with. It actually wouldn't surprise me if we might see that come out of offense and Brother on the next map. Just because of how well that went in Hollywood.
I believe this is still best out of 1 unless I'm losing my mind. Let me double check here.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah, they were saying GG's.
Yeah, so it was best of 1 there. The next series that we'll be seeing will be best out of 3. And in fact, it might just be Nubris versus Liquid, and that should be a great game. One of the marquee matches of the day. And I don't know who the favorite there. I think Nubris, from what we saw, they've definitely had some really good moments. Matt literally went God mode at points on Gibraltar, and yet they had some flaws as well. I could see them struggling a little bit against Team Liquid. Team Liquid, of course, a team that also has had flaws. I don't really know who's going to win between the two of them. I can make a decent case for both Liquid and Nubris going forward to the next matchup if Liquid does indeed get to the winner's semifinals.
Well, Liquid's in game right now, at least I'm seeing on my buddy list, and I'll try to get us in. I probably give the edge a little bit to Nubris, one, because they won the last head-to-head matchup, even though it was pretty close. Also, several of the other top teams in North America and Europe both regard Nubris very highly right now, and they also, as we mentioned earlier, Cloud9 statements, along with others, felt that some of the roster changes have hurt Liquid in terms of, getting strategy together and gaining synergy and, putting all the things into place. So I think Nubris actually has a little bit of the edge. I will say that I think Liquid going to the Agents Rising LAN, even though they didn't win, they actually played pretty well in the finals against Cloud9, which was expected to win the whole time. Maybe that helped them a little bit. They all met each other in person for the first time as a full team. They all got to know each other a little bit more. They probably got to talk more about the game and going forward, how they want things. And that might give them a little bit of the edge that they need to maybe bring that cohesion that was lacking into place.
No, I agree. And I think you look at how Team Liquid played at LAN, they definitely played up at LAN. They did not play down. The pressure did not get to them. I think they improved as a team when they're there. And we're going to get to see now if that will carry over to online events, because I believe this is going to be the first online event we'll see Team Liquid in since what they did at Esports Arena. So this is going to be interesting, since I don't think there was any events midweek or all the rest. So, and again, this is assuming that Team Liquid gets past Team Buds. I haven't actually looked at Team Buds and what's going on. Their full name is Team No Fast Guns. Don't really recognize anyone on that team, but I will say it would be a huge upset if Team Liquid were to lose, especially given the fact that, you talk about sponsors in the scene, Liquid is carrying on the Team Liquid banner. That is a very, very heavy name to hold in esports. There's a lot of prestige behind that name. And, right now I'd say that they definitely had a good showing at Esports Arena, but you look at their total body of work, they haven't been quite living up to that pedigree. And I know it's something that they want to change as soon as possible.
I think the Agents